Welcome to Kim's podcast where curiosity meets conversation. Kim's podcast.
Hi guys, my name is Ndida Kimbong and you're welcome to Kim's podcast. Today we're going to be talking on the A-level advantage beyond the GCE, your next chapter. And with me today we have Mr. Ndashi. Mr. Ndashi, you're welcome.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. So, Mr. Ndashi, please can you use like a few seconds to tell us about you?
Where do I begin? Teacher by profession
Okay.
and a career
Sariako.
career coach,
Okay.
prospective career coach. Let me put it that way because I'm not really fully into it yet.
All right. So today we're going to be talking on career development.
Okay.
Can you tell us what career development is?
It is just, say in simple terms, having a plan that will take you from where you are to where you want to be in your career. As simple as that.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
When you talk of the plan, there is a time frame and then the actions you're going to take within that time to live from where you are to where you want to be.
Okay. All right. So we're going to be going with some few questions to help our GCU students who just got their advanced level so they can know the step forward. Because someone like me, I did not have somebody to coach me when I had my advanced level. I think I just chose from I don't know where to where I am today. I wish I had someone who could coach me.
Yeah.
But since we did not have people who could coach us, they will have people who can coach them now like you, Mr. Ndashi. So we're going to be running down with some few questions on how to help them with their way forward. Okay. So, Mr. Ndashi, given the current economic climate in Cameroon and the high youth unemployment rate, what is the single most important piece of advice you would give to a young person who has just passed their advanced level?
The very first thing is to take time off, let the emotions settle
Okay.
before you decide
The excitement.
where you're going to. Because what we have noticed is that out of excitement, sometimes we make choices that are not the best for us. So if I had an advanced level quota in front of me today, who is aspiring to carry on with their personal development, career development, whatsoever,
Yeah.
let the dust settle. Okay. Then you can pick up from there. But one very big challenge most of them have at this point is that I can say more than 90% of them will make choices based on the marketing information they are going to receive from schools, higher institutes of higher learning. This is the worst time to make a decision where you want to go study. This is the worst period.
Wow.
Why do I say that? If you had not decided where you want to study, what you want to study after advanced level, you have to be someone who is so level-headed not to be carried away by the marketing information that is circulating currently. I just walk out to the streets, the number of flyers, the banners, and see if you see around about schools. So that's a student with an advanced level at this moment who has not decided what they are to study and where they want to study. They will fall for those who do the sweet talking.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, they won't actually do what they want, but they'll do what they are convinced to do.
They'll be told what they want to hear and they'll make their decisions based on that.
All right.
That's the first bit hole. Okay, they have to operate.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, moving forward, let's use an example. Let's say a student who is in Form 5, knowing fully well that he or she wants to study nursing, but they go forward to do something like, let's say, A1, which has got no links with like nursing or being I don't know how to put it. And then they reach opposites, they do, yes, they reach opposite, they do A1. Knowing fully well that they want to be a nurse and then get into the nursing field with A1, how can the government like try to restructure that system? Because you cannot have in mind from Form 5 that you want to be a nurse and then you go studying A1.
Well, I would say most students who do that are those who look for shortcuts.
Okay.
Because we always have this impression that science subjects are difficult compared to arts subjects. So they want to see that they go through the secondary school following the easy track, before they suddenly switch to the nursing they actually tend to do. If I have a student who intends to become a nurse, I will advise them to take on the science subjects. It would play more to the advantage.
Yeah.
But now, things have evolved. A student with A1, it is possible for them to become a nurse.
Okay.
It is very possible.
All right.
What I have come to realize as a teacher is that at some point in our lives, we can learn anything.
Okay.
But then if you have an A1 and you want to become a nurse, you should be ready to go back and start from somewhere. So you can be able to learn the basics of the human anatomy and all of that is required for someone to become a nurse. It is not like you will need your advanced level to build from there to become a nurse, but your ability to comprehend permits you to maybe to easily understand stuff. And it will not be easy compared to someone who did the sciences, but it is possible. So if I have a student who wants to become a nurse but hit A1, I can't discourage them, but rather what I would tell them is understand that for you to become a nurse, you will take some steps backwards so you can be able to leap.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay, let's start with a big one. The idea of going to university immediately. Many feel this is the only acceptable route. What are your thoughts on taking a gap year or pursuing other ventures before higher education?
I hate to be that type of person who sticks to a defined framework.
Yeah.
And the framework I'm talking about here is where they tell you, go to school, have your O level, have your A level to the university and stuff like that. We are in a difficult context. Some students from secondary school can't afford to go to university therapy immediately. So first thing, assess what you have. Okay. If you think at this moment you can't afford to go to the university or a higher institute of learning, take a pause. There is no problem in that. Because after advanced level, you can switch back to school at any time in your life.
All right.
So if you can't, now there's no big deal. Look for something to do while you prepare to come back to school.
Okay.
Because look, even those who are going to enroll in the university, or not all of them are going to complete it. You are going to have dropouts.
Yes.
And among them, for many different reasons, among them are those who drop out because they can't afford it. So if you know you can't, take a break, get into something.
Yeah.
While you prepare to get back to school when you think you are fully ready. If not, don't waste your time. First, second year, and then you can't carry on to the third year to complete the cycle and you drop to go back and do what maybe you have done at the start and they pick up to continue with your university.
All right. So you're trying to say the urge of like running into the university issue,
assess what you have. If your parents can afford it, there's no big deal. Go for it.
Yeah.
But if you're coming from a very difficult background where you're not sure, like, because sometimes when we get to those schools, how much is the fee? They tell you 300,000, and you have 300,000 in your account at that moment. You say, I can pay.
You think that's all?
But that's not all. Once in school, you have to pay. You have to pay transfer fare to go to school and back. You have to photocopy. You have to have stuff. So that's at some point we're suffocating financially. The best option now will be to let go. And at that moment, you see your 300,000+ is gone for nothing. He would have invested that money into some sort of a side business, multiply it before you get back to school. By the time you're going back to school 1 or 2 years after, that business is
yielding.
It supports your studies.
Well,
okay. So,
all right. Thank you. Well, I just wish these students will like adhere to what you're saying, because the pressure, like my mate is going to the university, I cannot stay back.
That's the problem. Because we always want to measure up to people.
Yeah.
Be your own competitor.
Okay.
If I can't, I'll look for an option. Keep going. There's no big deal.
Yeah.
You've heard of people who defend their PhDs at 40, 50, 60, 70, and so on. Yeah, because it went to teach something. Let me not go far. At office, after having all the billions, he kept back and he went to school.
Wow.
Many people don't know that, but he returned to school. So at some points, his football career was important. He picked it. It took it to him to where he is today. And after that, he said, okay, let me go back and see what school has to. So there's no big deal taking a break if you're an advanced level student and you think things are tough on you, take a break, get active with some other things, and come back to school later. There's no great pressure, by pressurize us.
Okay. Thank you for that. Okay. You often hear of graduates struggling to find jobs because they lack experience. What are the practical steps a student can take right now, even before they commit to a course or institution, to begin building that essential experience?
This one is for those who are going to continue
Okay.
immediately.
All right.
I'll come back to those who will not later, or maybe after this. The mistake we often make is when we are in school, we are students and we take it full-time students.
Okay.
But you agree with me that higher institutions of learning do have some gaps in lessons. It's
Yeah.
the secondary school where you go to school at 7:30, you're locked up in that gate till 3, 4, 3:30, 4 o'clock where they release you. There are some days you don't even go to school. And maybe on weekends, I often tell students, in order not to fall into that trap of, I have my certificate, but they are asking me for experience. Use that free time you have when you're in a university. Get involved in some sort of an activity, even if it is voluntary internship, even if it is not paid.
Yeah.
Get some hands-on. Now, another thing is this one involves those who are not going to continue, who might get back to school later. Many of them have experience, but they don't know that they do. Many. The problem, what I've noticed is that most people think experience, when we talk of professional experience, you should have been employed by one big company or organization for you to say, I have an experience. Studying a degree program for 3 years, you can actually graduate with 3 years experience. Is this possible?
Yeah.
What do I mean by that? First year, all those little gaps I have between my lessons, I look for one. It must not be a big company and small business where I practice something that is related to my field of studies. You let them understand that you're a student. You just want to be active. You keep coming from now and then. They give you tasks, hands-on, and stuff like that. If you take an internship for 1 month and 2 months, by the end of the year, if you have had let's say 3 internships of 2 months each,
Yeah.
that gives you 6 years accumulated experience. That's what many don't know. Maybe you've served in one provision store as a cashier, here what we describe like here, or maybe they used to commission you to go buy stuffs and come back. That is experience. The problem now is for you to know how to communicate that when you're applying for a job. Okay. When you go to big companies, they'll talk to you, they'll tell you there are people who work there as procurement officers. If you're being commissioned by a provision store to go get goods and stuff like that, that's the same as you're working as a procurement officer, if you get to know it. If you're behind that counter and serving, we often talk of front office and stuff like that.
Yes.
The problem is know that is experience and know how to communicate it to an employer.
Okay.
So you can actually go to school, finish your 3 years with 3 years of experience. The problem is you should know how to go about it. Get involved in volunteer services, get involved in internship when you have the time.
Yeah.
At the end of your studies, accumulate all of that and put it as your experience. It puts you ahead of those who just stayed and say, I'm a student until I'm done with my studies, then can I begin looking for a job? That's where they get hooked or get blocked because I don't have experience, I'm just graduating. No, you can graduate 8 years or so. It's very possible.
Wow. Seriously, I didn't know about that.
That is
This is wow. Okay. Like, wow. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. So let's talk about like making smart choices. Let's talk about what in the past a few select degrees were seen as the only way to secure future. What are the emerging and high demand fields in Cameroon right now? And how can students research them effectively?
First thing, everything you do, add a touch of tech in it. The context in which we are today, whatever thing you choose to do, add a touch of tech in it.
Okay.
Now, one of the mistakes we do is that we always focus on one thing. Focus on what you want to do. For example, I studied biochemistry when I was in the university. If we were in this context today, I wouldn't have just focused my mind on biochemistry, but I would have done what we call skill stacking. Skill stacking meaning I'm taking my biochemistry, but like the core, but I have some extension
Okay.
skills to support that core.
Wow. All right.
And most often, among the skills you are to include, don't forget tech skills, don't forget communication skills. Very important. Most people don't have job because they lack the ability to communicate.
Okay.
And I know someone once told me he doesn't understand. People, recruiters look at CV and they miss opportunities. I say, if you are a producer, let's say, for example, you produce soap,
Mm.
very good soap, excellent soap, very effective, and you lock it up in your room.
What is-
Nobody will ever buy that soap.
That's true.
You have to be able to take it to the market and let people know about it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter the baggage you carry with you as skills. If you can't communicate your skills, it is your skill. Stay with it. So coming back to what you said, don't just stick to your main core. Do skill stacking. Train on some skills around that can support what you do. For example, I am trained as an accountant, but I am an accountant who can apply some tech skills in order to polish up my ability in that domain. I am an accountant who is also capable of analyzing data and thus letting those who take decisions understand what is going on with maybe the finances of the company. Add those small skills to what you do
Well,
in order to make it solid. But above all, be able to communicate those skills so people can know the value you come alive.
okay. Like, okay, that means if a student is wanting to draft a CV, you mean a student who has tech skills added to his or her CV might have the high chances of being selected
Yes.
rather than
Well, when I say tech, let's be specific here. Let's be precise here because most people interpret tech as being able to code and stuff like that. That's not what I'm talking about. That's tech too, but that's not the tech skills I'm referring to here.
okay.
There's a lot that is involved in
In tech.
data entry is an example of tech skill.
Okay.
So you can't be, I don't know what other domain I can choose, and you don't have the ability to, let's take even the simple ones. You can't use Microsoft Word, you can't use Excel, you can't use, those are tech skills you have to, though they are very common today, but you should know those basics. If you find yourself in a situation where they tell you turn on the computer, who can turn on the computer and you are an accountant in 2025? You can't type on Microsoft Word or you can't use Excel and you are an accountant in 2025.
But Mr. Nash, you have to be very honest. There are still some people who can't do
That's why we are doing this discussion. Let's wake them up. If you are in 2025 and you still don't have any tech skill, and let me surprise you. I am so much involved in recruitment.
Okay. Yeah.
When I say what I'm saying, I'm talking out of experience. There are many Cameroonian youths I have dealt with who don't know how to use emails. That's a tech skill.
Wow.
We have had cases where you announce a job and someone will write you and ask, can I send my application through WhatsApp?
Wow.
I don't want to call the name of an institution. I was invited to a talk in one of the Higher Institute of Learning in Cameroon, in a hall of more than 300 students, and just one student had an account on LinkedIn. One-ish.
And I think those who were actually present were actually young youths searching for job opportunities.
Yeah,
And they are not on
get
LinkedIn.
it. That's it. They are not on LinkedIn. And I asked them, these phones you carry around, what do you do with the phones?
We use them to snap.
Snap, Facebook,
TikTok,
Instagram. What will you do there?
Useless things.
Locked on gossip platforms.
Exactly. I'm guilty of that.
Until the day you graduate and they ask you years of experience, you come back to complain. I say emailing is a problem.
Oh, wow.
Send your application through this email.
As the count.
Where do I start? Some don't even have emails. Some created emails maybe because when they were enrolling in school, they told them you have to create an account, log onto this, or maybe because when they created their Facebook account, they requested email. I think Facebook started with emails before they brought in phone numbers. They cannot pay with phone numbers, your account with phone numbers. So things like that are some of the things I always tell when I have youth in front of me. Don't just stick on your main domain. Try to add some little skills around what you do in order to back it up. It gives you an upper hand when you stand out there in the jungle.
Wow. Okay, guys, you should try to try every possible means to have an email account and try to know how to operate your email. I don't expect an advanced level student should actually have an email.
We have students.
Form 5 students should have an email.
I have children in Form 1, Form 2
Who had email?
who use emails.
Wow, that's good.
That's good.
Yes.
But then sometimes when you were looking at those you think are the ones who are normally supposed
To have,
you are shocked to understand that they tell you straight head on.
they don't have any.
They don't have or they don't know how to use it. They begin to ask, so how do I send my application?
But they can operate every social media platform.
It's really so
It's really unfortunate. Okay, Miss Sandashi, let's move on. Okay, we often hear about the lack of experience. What can a student do while they are in university or professional school to make themselves more employable upon graduation? Think of internships. I think we've spoken about that. Science.
internships and volunteering. Those are things that build your ability and platform your academics. When you get involved in internships, you learn some things that happen with it. Because see, it doesn't matter how well a school trains a student will never be ready for the job market wholly. Because the school is not a workplace environment.
Yeah.
The contexts are different. It might be a workplace environment for the lecturers and the others, but not for the students. When the student graduates, the student might have all the skills they require, capable of actually doing things. But when you take them from that school milieu into a workplace, the context changes. They need some time to learn. That's one of the reasons why internships and volunteer services are required, because they leave that school environment, they get into a corporate world and they begin to see how things function there. Yeah, the rules are not the same. So when they get along with that new environment, it prepares them to be able to face certain challenges that are found in the workplace, but not in school.
Okay.
Yeah. So how can they go about it? Think of internships, think of volunteer services when you have the free time in school. You can even ask to volunteer in an institution. Simply tell, I'm a student, I'll be coming when I don't have lessons. You let them have your schedule so that they know you will not be there on Wednesday, you'll be there on Thursday. Whatever task they have, they can prepare and make sure that when you come on Thursday, you might execute the task. But I have one little worry too, because sometimes students have the will, but when they get to where they want to do the volunteer services or where they want to do the internship, those who are supposed to mentor them don't really put them in the real work context.
Okay.
We have seen situations where someone comes as an intern and becomes a coffee girl. I need a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Or get me food for stuff like that, rather than doing what they were normally supposed to do there. That's one problem from the side of the companies and the organizations. I really wish they would take them and actually make them learn something, so that when they are leaving, they leave with a package, an experience, skill sets that will help them wherever they are going. So,
okay, but do you think volunteer services should actually be, how can I put it? Should they chip in something for the volunteers, or what are volunteer services in Cameroon like? Do some people do chip in, or you just
like the companies paying the volunteers? Well, companies have their internal policies.
Okay.
There are some organizations that will actually give the volunteers stipends.
Okay. Yeah.
There are some that do it, others don't. But as a student, if I am to advise a student out there, don't go for the money.
Okay.
Let's hope that you have the means to be able to go there and come back. Forget about them. If they pay you, take it as a plus.
All right.
If they don't get what you want to get there, and move on.
Okay.
Some even get job with that.
Wow.
That is to say, they go for volunteer services or for internship, and they perform so well that the company says, "We're not letting go. This is
Yes.
you see, you by the time you're finishing your studies,
They've
your place is
Wow.
there already. It happens. It happens. So, but just sit and say I'm a student, and you wait until the third year for you to now walk out there and say they don't want you looking because I don't have experience. That way it's you. Yeah, the problem.
Okay. So we should stop being the problem.
Being the problem.
All right. Okay. The world is changing quickly, and many jobs that exist today might not in 10 years. What are the foundation skills, the soft skills that are always in demand, no matter the industry? Communication. Okay. And when we talk of communication, somebody should be able to talk in front of the camera like I'm talking, or
Necessarily in front of a camera. Verbal, written. There is body language.
okay.
That's something most people don't even know. That's communication.
All right.
People say a lot with their body more than the words from their word. That's why if you want to know someone, observe them and listen to.
Okay.
Even when you listen to, observe and try to match the two. Or non-verbal language, that's what I refer to body language here, is something that is very important. Learn how to carry yourself.
All right.
I don't know if you've had experience where people walk into your office, one comes, you look at them, and then another one comes, you're like panicking. The way they carry themselves, they communicate a lot.
Wow.
Verbal and written communication is always very important. And then the last part of it is because communication is two ways. Underline that word. Active listening.
Active listening. Okay. All right.
Listen actively
Okay.
means you give attention to understand what is being said. You're not listening to respond.
You're listening to understand.
When you understand it, you will give a clear and good response.
All right.
Yes. And that way, there won't be any ambiguity around you and what you say. When you communicate clearly, you relate with people better. All right. And people can easily trust you. Oh, because communication will permit, like, I can easily know where the boundaries are in order to avoid conflict if the boundaries were communicated clearly.
Really? All right.
But this thing where someone sits and wants you to read their mind, say, you did not notice that I was. No, I don't want to notice. Tell me. Say it. Could you say, don't touch this thing?
Yeah.
Actually, don't put it maybe in this position and hoping that I will see it in this position and don't touch it, because when you put it in that position, it means don't touch it.
Yeah. You didn't know?
Communication.
They didn't communicate it.
No matter the industry, led communication. Looking at the context in which we are today, like tech skills. And then there is this one that is hitting the world today, is, let's say, AI. Learn how to use AI in your work.
Okay.
People are afraid that AI is going to replace them. I say software engineers are not dumb to build AIs that do the work they do. They're building it to facilitate their job. No one will be replaced. I don't think so. But if you don't learn how to do it, you'll be replaced, for the simple fact that what used to be done in 1 week, sometimes with AI, you can do it in 1 hour. So when someone employs you,
Yeah.
they will not expect you to do it in 1 week. They expect you to do it in one hour, because they know you have access to the tool that can help you do it. But if you take that 1 week, they'll kick you out and bring someone
Who can use an hour? Wow. So, ooh, this is interesting, Kabo. Okay.
be updated.
Okay, we have the tech skill, we have the communication skills, then you had said the AI.
AI is part of the tech.
Okay,
Tech
yeah.
communication is very important 2025 and beyond.
All right.
I don't know if communication will ever be obsolete. I don't know.
Okay, now let's talk about networking. For a young person who might be shy or not know anyone in their field, what is the best way to start building a professional network in Cameroon?
Start from school.
Okay.
Do you know that the friends you have today are the friends you met in university?
Yes,
How many of your secondary school
that's true.
you still have contact with?
Is
That is where it begins.
that's 98% true.
That is where the networking begins.
Okay.
From there, as you start going for internships and volunteer services,
Mm.
you extend it
All right.
Then we have social media, a platform like LinkedIn. You search people on your domain, send them a follow request, follow them and send a request. If they connect with you,
Good.
send a short message, greet them, tell them who you are, what you're up to, flatter them a little, talk about what they do, appreciate it and stuff like that. Don't offer, once forget them. Just the first time you take by, let it be. And then
No pressure.
no pressure. The second time after like 2 weeks, a month, you hit again and let it be.
Yeah.
Then the third time, come with a little challenge and say you were wondering if they could advise you how to do this or how to go about this stuff. That's how you build that rapport.
Okay.
And you never know where they can take you to. And I would say most often, start with people who are around you.
All right.
And then the most important part of it is attend events. Okay. When you go for events, create that connection. And don't just create connections, but keep the connections alive.
Yeah.
Because most often when we go out there, meet people, exchange numbers, we come back. That's all.
Yeah, I know I'm the first man for right.
It's
It's just you are the one looking
still
for
like that
connections.
until it dies down. And at some point, even when you write that person, they want you to remind them of who you are. You see, you start from scratch again, which is not too good. So attend events, start with those you attended school, because sometimes a classmate is the one that will pull you from where you are to where you want to be, but be ready to pull people to if you're the one to get there first.
Okay.
Because we go to school, it's like you gather pebbles and throw them to the same direction, the same force. When you see they change direction and some go further than others.
Yes.
That's how it happens with school. But then you have a classmate with whom you are close, who gets up there first. They can easily pull you. That's the importance of networking.
Wow.
Yes, because when you have all of that in place, you will not be lost.
Okay.
Some of the jobs we are talking about, you may not have to apply. You may be referred to a job, or they might simply tell you, we have common and stuff like that.
Yeah. My first job, I was actually referred to.
Perfect. If you want to stay in your own and say, you will remain there. That's just it.
Yeah. Okay. So being shy is not actually an option. It won't take you anywhere.
Being shy is one thing, but being shy and cut off from people is another thing.
Okay.
People are shy by nature, but they have to work and change that.
All right.
Be able to approach people and create connection with them. Yes. Once you can approach and create that connection, it permits you to be open to opportunities. Because right now, where I'm seated, sometimes I might have an opportunity. We are sitting on this podcast.
Yeah.
You know me before.
Yeah.
No,
I didn't.
you knew me through someone.
Yes.
Yes, because that's the connection. That's the network.
Good.
And I'm sure someday, if you're seated somewhere and someone says, I need someone from to be on my platform, I can talk about this. You will think about
I know
someone.
found. Yes.
Just like if I go somewhere and someone says, I would like to be on a podcast, but I don't know anybody who does podcasts. I'll rather turn around and say, okay, I was on one and I talked with someone and let me see if she can handle the domain in which you are. And if that's the case, what happens? All right, she's ready to have you when I will be ready. And that's how the network keeps extending.
Wow.
At some points, you will come to realize that you have already created a circle where you supply one another.
Yeah.
Because this is the thing. Think of business. People can actually sit down and create an ecosystem where they depend among themselves. Let's take a cycle. I produce biscuits, but I need flour. I need butter.
Yeah. Sugar.
Sugar and so on. I have a contact to supply sugar. I have another contact for flour. I have a contact for packaging.
Mm-hmm.
I am feeding their business because I buy the packaging.
Yeah.
They are feeding my business because they supply. And at some point, we have that ecosystem where everything is turning around there. That's how the networking happens. And then we can now decide to connect this our network to another, to use our ecosystem, to another ecosystem and expand and so on, such that at no moment are we going to run short of resources. Because if this supplier I have doesn't have, he knows someone who can supply me. Okay. That's how it goes with building a career. Don't forget about networking, but start with a little circle that you have. Create good connections. Keep track of where each one of you is going. Because if I get stuck today, I can call a friend and say, "Bo, I've lost my job. I don't know what direction to take next."
Can it be a call?
They know that I don't have a job.
Yeah.
And having that good intention, their eyes and ears are open. The moment they see something somewhere, they hit you. You hit you and say, "Go and check out this thing." Sometime before you go there with your file, they have already discussed everything and for you. Just kind of, I was sent by.
Yes.
That's it.
Wow. Okay. All right. Let's talk about, is there a particular subject, right, where while learning that one has to take into consideration that will help in every other field? Someone like me, I was running away from mathematics, but my first job, it entailed that I had to do some calculations, and it was very difficult for me, but I just had to learn. I had to learn on my own. I had to be on YouTube for months to be able to, it was something like, accounting. Okay. I did A1. I am a literature student, but I had to deal with mathematics, percentages, all those stuff. It was actually hell for me. But since I needed that job so bad, I had to put in energy to work on mathematics.
This question hits hard on something, a problem I have with social media. Because people looking for buzz, people looking to go viral, they come up with concepts that derail a lot of our youths. This subject you're talking about, mathematics, I have heard a lot of people come online to say, the match is that how is it helping you? We've been looking for X, we've never found X. So the issue is not the X.
Yeah.
Someone even went to the extent of making a list of useless subjects in school and was listing physics, math, and else is not.
I don't know. I don't think so. My opinion, I don't.
In life, I keep saying there is no subject that is useless. Okay, it's only if you don't know what that subject is meant for.
Yes.
Because I will ask you, you are carrying your phone every day. You're using that phone to record videos and tell people that physics is useless without knowing that those who built the phone used a lot of physics. But it's not because you are not using the physics to build something that you think it is useless. Nobody on earth has a mastery of everything. You have your own small domain, another person will have another domain that will come together to complement. But the fact that you are not in that domain doesn't mean it is useless. The fact that you're ignorant of its importance doesn't mean it is useless. Let me come back to something very simple. There is one intellectual I watched this man on TV complain about Cameroon's curriculum. I'm not saying Cameroon's school curriculum is perfect.
Yeah.
But trust me, because people are fond of saying, look at what Chinese children are doing, our children are not doing. The problem is not our curriculum, because if we take this curriculum and give it to China, take Chinese curriculum to Cameroon, after 20 years, we are still going to say, look at what the Chinese children are doing. To come back to what we said, Bestman with something like, he realized that what was taught how many years ago and is still being taught to the children. They are teaching them birds, they are teaching them stuff. I say the problem is not the teaching of birds and cockroaches in school. The problem is the why and the how. Okay. We still teach them to draw beautiful diagrams and we score them on beautiful diagrams. But look at the plane. Look at caterpillars you see around us. All those things are inspired from nature. If we start teaching those children to draw inspiration from what a bird is and how it functions to develop things that will help us in our daily lives.
Yeah.
Planes were the inspiration in building planes came from birds. I remember in school they taught us the structure of a bird and fish. They are streamlined. What does that mean? It starts from a sharp point and then opens up backward. The essence is to reduce friction. Same thing with the plane. Okay. It is designed that way to reduce friction and improve efficiency. That's why you see they'll tell you like the American B, they call it B-12 or B-2 bomber, one of the most sophisticated warplanes. Maybe you don't know that it was designed from an eagle.
I don't
So
know.
we teach our children how to draw those birds, and we come and say, beautiful diagram, we score them. Chinese will teach them what it means for a bird to have that shape and how we can transfer that from the bird to something that will help us in life. Okay. Look at some of this, I don't know how you call these caterpillars there. Excavators. Okay.
Yeah.
You see how it looks?
Mm.
Do you know what we call praying mantis?
Yes.
How do you compare that with the praying mantis?
Wow.
Those are the things we have to make our children see in school, but unfortunately, the way we teach is a problem. So to say subjects, every subject is important. Okay. Just choose where you think it is going to be of use to you and to your community. A subject that can permit you to serve yourself and serve your community. Capitalize on it. All right. Some other person will choose another subject.
Mm-hmm.
Another person will choose another subject.
Okay.
And at the end, as a community, you put in, they put in, this one puts in, and then we have services that are actually running. I won't sit here and tell you that this subject is the most important one. Make a choice. What suits you and how you think you can help your community carry it to the highest level you can.
Okay. All right. Okay, let me bring an example. A student is in the university. Like, they have spent 2 years. Okay, they have spent 3 years in the university. And then, let me say they studied English modern letters. They are done studying English modern letters, and then they go to the field, and they are told they do not have any experience. It's true you've already said something like they should go for volunteers. Those who do not have the information going for volunteering, they are just done with their degree programs, and then they set in their files to search for jobs, and then they are being rejected. So do they take another 1 year to do the volunteering after the degree, or what should they do? Because most of those certificates, they can take somebody who has, like, as the Francos always say, back plus deux, like someone who has done 2 years university but has an experience, but they will reject somebody who has a degree that you do not have an experience. How can they fix that?
You've answered the question already. If you graduate, or if you're a graduate with no experience, if you're a graduate who did not do what I said a while ago, while you're at school, try to do these
One or two,
one or two things to build your experience, then don't dive straight into looking for a paid job. If you find one,
good.
good for you. Start with internship. Start asking to serve as a volunteer. Start requesting to work as an intern. It is easier for the doors to open as a volunteer, as an intern, than for a company to recruit you as a full-time worker.
Okay.
Yes, because when you come in as an intern, it costs less for the company. It will cost them something, but not as much as if you came in as a full employee without experience. Yes. Because they will have to train you. At the same time, they have to pay you a salary. But if you come in as a volunteer, they might train you without a salary. It is easier for someone to say, okay, come. We'll render service. That's obvious. You will render service to them, but it costs them less to work with a volunteer than to bring in someone with zero experience and all of that, where they have to train you and still pay you.
Okay.
So if you've graduated and you're faced with that challenge, pipe down a little.
Yeah.
Look for internship. And don't always think of big companies. I keep saying this because we graduate with so much ambition. And the only place we want to work is PIAC. I don't know, sort of
We want to work in the
ministries or the big international NGOs. It's not that easy. It's not that easy. But nonetheless, for a well-structured company,
Yeah.
recruitment has the graded. Because sometimes too, we graduate from school and we want to go and apply for a position that requires, because we talk of requiring experience. Yes. There's what we call entry position. In entry positions, they really don't expect you to have any experience. When they open the entry position, it is because they know that there's someone to groom you. Okay. And then you become a full swing employee.
Yes.
You don't expect a company to hire someone who's just graduated from school as their main accountant. That's the position. You don't expect a company to hire you just graduate from school as general manager. No, you might crash that company.
That's
They need someone who already has that experience, who can hold things together. You come in and then you grow. That's one thing most job seekers don't understand. When you see they ask 5 years experience, it is because the position they want you to be is not a position where they want to do trial and error.
all right.
If not, they'll put you in a position where you will learn and grow and then become useful, and they can entrust their business into your hands. Okay. So, all right, don't rush if you don't have the experience. Go get it. Don't always look for very big companies. You can start anywhere. The next thing is learn how to communicate the package you carry around. Go and learn how to write Cs.
Okay.
That's very important.
All right.
That's the communication I'm talking about.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Nashi, would you advise someone to go to a private university or to a public university, and why?
It depends on what you want.
Okay.
It depends on what you have.
Okay.
It depends on what you can afford.
All right.
Because it is obvious private universities are more expensive than the public
universities. Yes.
But if you are conscious and if you are intentional, wherever you go, you can make it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You can make it wherever you go.
All right. That's perfect.
Because if I were to go back to the university and start level 1, because of where I schooled, we used to have level 1, level 2, level 3. Elsewhere, they will tell you level 100, level 200,
level 300. Yes.
I used to say the best, the low thing I expect of a student, if I'm to teach a student, the only thing I want from that student is the desire to learn.
Okay.
If you have the desire to learn, you will have what you need. So if you take a student who is in school just for the sake of being in school to a private university, no matter how old the university is, that student will come out like they went in.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, if you take them to public university, it'll be worse because, we know the enrollment in public universities are more than in private universities.
Yes.
So in that case, the follow-up is better in the private than it is in the public or government universities. But trust me, it is about the person concerned. If you are aware of why you're going to school and you are intentional about what you want from school, it doesn't matter where you go, you will have what you want.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Okay, let's talk on something. For, let's say, secondary education. A class that has 80 students, do you think it's proper, or it should be divided? Like, how many students do you think is appropriate for a classroom? Because in that same classroom, we have fast learners, we have slow learners, we have students who they'll say they're Ijon Mama. Yeah. What number of students do you think a classroom is ready to handle? So everybody should be put on the same spot. It's always very difficult because we have slow learners, but in a way that everybody should be on the same.
They all are given the same opportunity to learn.
Yes.
Yes, I agree that 80 is such a large number. But trust me, with some teachers, even if you give them 2 students, it will still be a problem. So let's start by looking at this teacher's capacity to handle the classroom.
Okay.
Yes. Some teachers will handle 80 students better than another teacher will handle 10. But 80 is already too many. The number is that's huge for a teacher to actually be effective. But then, having a small class size gives the learners and the teachers more opportunity to actually, or there is better follow-up when the class size is smaller than when it is bigger. Okay. But if you find yourself in a large class size, there's one thing I want to talk about here. There's this notion of overcrowded, because the class can still be 10 students and overcrowded.
Yeah.
And it can be 80 and
not overcrowded.
But that size of 80 for a single teacher to handle is difficult. But there are techniques where you can actually mitigate. I don't want to say you make things work well, but you can mitigate. In that case, you take that big classroom and in that classroom you create micro classrooms. That's to say, before you go to class, you have prepared lessons and broken them down into little chunks. You put your students in small groups. Okay, you give them tasks per group. and they rotate so that by the end of your class, all of them have touched what that's supposed to be done during that time. So you can follow up the groups. You go around and make sure that the activities are being carried out. They are on the task, and when this group is done, they flip and so on. That's just one of the approaches you can do to mitigate that effect of lack of follow-up because of class size. But if you don't have good classroom management skills, it will still be a problem. The bottom line is the idea will be to have small class sizes.
All right.
Fewer students, better follow-up. Talk here.
All right. Okay, so you mentioned you're a teacher. How do you handle recalcitrant students? Let's say a student wants to fight you. How do you handle that?
Why would a student want to fight you?
You know the students we have today.
Yes.
They are some of them. There's something they call I don't know how to call it, cannabis. Most of them take it before they come to school. How do you handle a student in that situation?
That one is a different case. But if we want to look at a student who is lucid
Yes.
in their senses, because sometimes we the teachers were the problem sometimes. Or let's not just always point fingers at the students.
All right.
As a teacher, you're a role model. How you carry yourself is how the students will approach you. Yes. So sometimes you will notice that the way the students behave to the teachers is because of the way the rapport between
The student and the teacher.
teachers. Be friendly, but don't be friends with students.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's the first thing.
Yes.
The second thing is respect yourself as a teacher. Give the students respect, and respect will follow. Now, if we have to dive into the ones that have taken the stuffs under, that's just a completely different case. Those are situations that have to be identified even before they have to deal with a teacher.
Okay.
Now, we have a problem in our school setup in Cameroon because we even we prepared a project that were to suggest to the Ministry of Secondary Education, where the students are never left unsupervised. It's a big problem in our secondary institutions. Students are often left unsupervised. So take, for example, we get to school in the morning and the teacher doesn't show up. That class where there is no teacher, it's always rousing.
Yeah.
Now, what if we set up a system where the students are never left on their own? Someone is always there with them. Cases like that will easily identify them and
Taken care of.
Before they get to the stage where they are standing up to face their teachers. That's just a project we have designed. We are hoping that when we finalize it, at suggest to the initiative might buy it, let the students have follow-up. Let they be under constant supervision. We might even stop having these things we call discipline masters. We might have a discipline office, but not discipline masters, because at that point, we will not need to have, even if we have, the number will be reduced, because someone is always there who can easily identify when something is not right with the student. Take the case of primary schools. Primary schools, all classes have teachers permanently in the classrooms, which means you being in that classroom with your kids, you know them. And if one day a child comes to school and something has changed, you will notice it. You can easily talk to that child and understand what the challenge is. And from there, if it is something that's coming from home, the school can assist to handle it. If it is something that is neither from home or school, you let the parents know, and then together with the school, they try to see how they can take that child out of that situation. Because we are talking about cannabis. The worst, or let me say, what can kill a child easily is friendship. If they fall into the hands of wrong friends, they find themselves in that situation. It is happy at home or in school. It can start in school, but it's out there. All right. Where no one has an eye on them. But what if they come to school and they meet a teacher who is constantly with them, who knows them, and that teacher notices a change in attitudes? Those children can easily trust you to open up and tell you things. You take it to the authorities, and then they pull them out and try to handle that case before it gets to the stage where they want to fight the teacher. It's unfortunate that we are not there yet, but we are hoping that someday we'll get to that point where we can easily identify such cases and handle them before they get out of hand. We'll not be hearing a lot of the violence that we have in schools.
Okay. Okay. It's also said that a student's behavioral habit is mostly built at school. Is that true? Or the habits are built at home? What do you think is built?
I can't say true or false. It can come from anywhere.
Right.
I have seen children come from homes where they were groomed well. They come with a good package. The school spoils them. I have seen students who come from rotten homes and the school fixes them. So the problem can come from anywhere, even out there in the society as they are walking out in their neighborhood. They meet friends, they talk with others, and at some point they might meet someone who is into something and they pull them into it. In that case, the school and the board come together to see that they solve that problem. So it's not an issue of the school, it's not an issue of the whole, but if the two work in synergy,
Yeah.
things will be perfect for the children.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Dashi. I would like to say thank you very much for this insightful episode we've had. I have actually learned something, and I think the A-level students or those who just had the advanced level are going to make the best decisions after watching this episode of this podcast. So I always end my podcast asking like 2 questions. If you have your mom and your dad in a boat and you're to save what person.
Start question. If I don't say all of them, let them go.
Oh no, that's weird.
No.
Okay. All right. You have your wife in a boat and you have your daughter in that same boat. So I'll say, who are you saving? You have to save one. No, you have to save one. You're saving one person. Who are you going for? You have your wife in a boat. The boat is sinking. You have your wife. You have your daughter.
Final answer for both questions. I will save the one that can be saved at that time.
Okay. What if both of them can be saved? Wait, stay one.
Why should I say one if both can be saved? No, tell me.
Okay. Okay. What when you mean?
My wish is to save all of them.
Uh.
And if there is a possibility for both of them to be saved, why should I save one?
Okay, you can carry. It's like you just have 5 seconds. 5 seconds is removing one of them from.
All right, mother and daughter.
Yeah.
Mother and daughter. I know mother can fend for herself more than daughter. That's the logic that we use to save the daughter, hoping that when I come back, I'll be able to get the mother. Don't tell me that she's great too.
Okay.
I'm just being honest.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. The sustainability rate will be high for the mother than the daughter.
She can fend for herself more than the daughter can.
Okay.
I can't go for an adult knowing that the child is more at risk than the mother.
Okay.
You see? So when I look at the two of them, I know even the resistance, she can resist more than the child. I'll put that child first. If I can save only one at a time, don't tell me I can save only one. If I can save one at a time, I'll pull the child out of the water if I come for the mother. Because I believe she can defend herself in that situation more than the child. That's the logic. Don't ask me, you love which one more than which one. I will not answer that.
All right. Okay. Are you a Christian?
I'm not religious.
Okay, you're not religious. All right. Not being religious and not being a Christian, I think. Today much?
When I say I'm not religious, it's because my beliefs or my belief is not based on any religion.
Okay. Are you a fan of the Bible?
No. I do read it.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you want to pull us into the Bible here, we'll talk about a lot of things. I read the Bible. I have a copy. I was covered one and I do read it. And I don't agree with everything that is in there.
Okay. You can agree with some.
Yes, some make sense.
Okay.
There are some contradictions and there are some things that really don't make sense to me.
Okay.
To me, as a person, I respect people's beliefs and perspective. Yes. I don't think the Bible is God's word as it would have been, because if God is a perfect being, a perfect God as we know him to be, I don't think what I read in the Bible will be his words. Okay. That's my opinion. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, can you quote us one verse from the Bible?
I don't read the verses. I read the Bible from page the page.
Okay, you just read to
2016 and stuff like that. I've read a lot of Bible. And reading that way is what made me have a better understanding of the Bible's content. Because first of all, before I started reading the Bible, when I hear people quote the Bible, there's like just picking Bible quotations and saying, how do you memorize all of this thing? So when I was offered this Bible, I read it from first to the last page. I think I read the Bible completely once. Then before I started everything randomly, the first thing I noticed is that it's a storybook. Read from the first page to the last page, you will see that they're narrating.
a story,
Yes.
and that doesn't have to end or has an end. Does the Bible actually end?
I don't know if it ends, but when I read it, what I noticed is that they were narrating story.
Okay,
It's a storybook.
all right.
First thing. Second thing, there are some things that were said in the Bible that really made me question if that's God's word. Because somewhere I read God telling human beings, not telling people who had slaves, that these slaves are your property, telling the slaves that this is your master and he can do anything with you. I don't think that is what God really. That's not my understanding of God. Okay, if that is what the Bible thinks it should be, then it's a problem. And then at some point I will read one thing, they say this, and then another conference will say the contrary. Because you hear people say, don't judge, the Bible says you shouldn't judge. I have never agreed with that. Why? Simply because I don't understand how God will create me, a human being, give me 5 + 1 senses. All of them have one function, judgment. And then he still tells me, don't judge. Because the only moment I've seen someone not judging is when that person is dead.
Yeah.
Just for someone to tell me, don't judge, you're judging already. It's out of judgment that you're telling me not to judge because you judge me by knowing that I'm judging. You see,
Wow.
those are the things that make me to question the content of the Bible. And I've even been in Islam.
Okay.
I've been there for 2 years.
Oh, all right.
And yet, I still didn't find God.
Well,
All of that made me to come back and question everything. And I came to the conclusion that build your spiritual life. Forget about Christianity, but there's that. Build your spiritual life. Connect with God at a personal level.
Okay.
You will find him.
all right.
And I found him.
Okay.
When I found him, that's when I understood that if you don't connect with him at the personal level,
Personally.
you connect with him based on some other person's beliefs.
Okay. Wow. All right. Okay, Mr. Dashi, thank you very much. So what are the takeaways that our A-level students should take from this?
If at this point you have not decided what you want to study, where you want to study, you have to be very careful not to be swayed by marketing information you see out there. That's the first thing. Second thing, I believe by now the dust has settled. Take time off. Ask yourself what you want to become. That should guide you on what you will be doing in school. Or sometimes we want to let our results determine what we do. Yes. Don't make that mistake to look at your grades and say, okay, because I have these grades in this subject, that's what I have to do. Define what you want to do and push your grades to fit in.
Thank you very much. Mr. Dashi said we should tell you that your path is unique. Choose wisely so you have a brighter future for yourself. And if you have a brighter future, your spouse might possibly have a brighter future. Your kids might have a brighter future. Your siblings, and why not your parents if they don't yet have? Because we live in a society where some parents do expect us to build houses for them.
We have to.
Is it obligation? Is it an obligation?
It's not an obligation, but it's a moral obligation.
Okay.
We're in Africa. We are human beings. We are social beings. And in Africa in particular, we live in communities. We don't live individualistic lives. So we have that moral obligation as Africans to turn back and hold the hands of the people who carried us yesterday.
All right.
That's why here we don't have old age homes where we go and abandon our parents. Your parents sometimes will come and live with you
Yes.
until their last day. You will not go and drop them somewhere and pay people to take care of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have an obligation to build houses for our parents.
Moral obligation.
Okay.
If you don't do it, nobody will.
Okay, but for parents who already have houses,
That's fine. If your parents already have the house.
because I would like to be a parent who's already well settled. I wouldn't like to give my children that stress of being on a house or
Not all parents have that grace.
yeah.
For those who don't, let the children carry them. If you already have it, thank God for you and let your children live their life. All they can now do is, the more you become weaker, let them be there for you.
Okay.
Because that house, you can be left in that house and it won't take you anywhere.
I get it.
But the children always come back to check if you are in that house and living well.
Yeah. As a
The
source.
blessing you have. Yeah.
Okay, guys, thank you very much for watching this another episode of Kim's podcast. Mr. Ndashi, please can you give us your social media handles so they can follow you and
Anywhere you find me, you will see NC Ndashi. NC like N in Nelson, C in carbon.
okay.
Then Ndashi, NDASHI. That's what you'll find. I'm not even on all the social media. You'll find me on LinkedIn. You'll find me on Facebook and Twitter.
Okay.
I'm not even on Instagram.
Wow. Why?
Yeah, I'm on TikTok, but not too often. I'm not too engaged on TikTok.
Okay.
So those are the social medias where you'll find me. It's NC Ndashi. That's the unique name I use on social media.
NC Ndashi. Okay, so you can follow Kim's podcast on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok as Kim's podcast. Thank you very much for watching this episode and see you in another episode. Bye.
Take it.